Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the June 4th, 2025 Board of Education meeting. Apple says it's 7 p.m., so we are going to get going with our meeting. We're going to start first with my report. I do have a brief statement that I would love to read. This week, or last night actually, I had the pleasure to attend the Senior Awards and Scholarship last night. It was a fantastic event celebrating the many successes of our graduating class. It was a pleasure to attend, and we wish every winner continued success. We move into a continued week of celebrations that will ultimately culminate with graduation next Tuesday, which I'm sure everyone is excited about. Perhaps even Arcadia O'Neill is extremely excited about. And I'm looking forward to giving a graduation speech there as well, which I have promised to keep exceptionally brief. I do want to take a moment to acknowledge that we appreciate the commentary from last week's meeting. We have an expectation that teachers provide students with an opportunity to opt out of particular lessons, and we have become aware that this practice is not as clear as it should be. Teachers and curriculum leaders are going to be reviewing syllabi over the summer, and we plan to develop language to make the practice clear so parents may more easily make informed decisions with their children. At today's meeting, we are focusing on mental health and support for our students, and we're going to have a special award in regard to that shortly. But I want to take a moment to discuss certain aspects of the state curriculum that we follow, specifically the Healthy Living Framework, CSDE standards, if anyone wants to look them up, which were discussed at our last meeting in regard to the health and wellness program at the high school. The State Board of Education has the role and responsibility to decide what standards will be adopted for students in Connecticut public schools. This includes a lengthy 18 to 24-month vetting process involving highly qualified educators and subject matter experts. The current Connecticut Healthy Living Standards, adopted in 2022, are required to be taught in some way in every Connecticut school district. One key objective of these standards is to provide students with critical skills to navigate and deal with something the Board of Education hears about frequently: bullying. While bullying is not a new issue, it has undeniably evolved to new levels through video, photos, and social media with the use of cell phones. StopBullying.gov states that the people who are bullied the most are the people who are perceived as different from their peers by their peers. Teaching awareness of various groups of people, understanding differences in others, learning empathy, and acknowledging another human being as just that helps in preventing bullying. By now, we are all aware of the connection between bullying, poor mental health, and depression. I'm going to read some nationwide statistics. The JED Foundation, an organization dedicated to preventing teen and young adult suicide, states that overall in the United States, 20.4% of high school students reported having seriously considered suicide in the past year. The percentage of these students break down like this, and I'm not going to go through all of the different demographics, but 27.1% of female and 14.1% of male individuals, 41% of LGBTQ+, and 13% of heterosexual cisgender individuals. 12.5 million people between the ages of 18 and 25 experienced a mental, behavioral, or emotional health issue in the past year. This amounts to 1 in 3, or 33.8% of young adults. And this rate has increased significantly over the past several years, from 22% in 2016. Again, everyone here, I believe, is in agreement that parents should have an understanding of what their child is learning in school. The lesson discussed in last week's meeting may not have been communicated clearly, and the issue has been managed and corrected. And the Board of Education, our administrators, educators, and our community have a responsibility to ensure all children have a safe place to learn. Learning how to live with others is an essential skill not only for work, but for life. These carefully vetted standards designed to promote critical thinking are in place to provide a structure in a world where anything, whether true, false, kind, or cruel, is easily available on the internet. So thank you for allowing me to present that. We are going to be moving on to our awards and recognition section of the meeting, and we have a very special group of guests this evening, including Justine Ginsberg from the Farmington Valley Health District, and I believe Assistant Superintendent Jennifer Parsons will be leading us off in this presentation.
Good evening, everyone. Ms. Reiner, would you mind joining me with our students from the high school?
I would love to.
And Justine, could we ask you to join us?
My wonderful coat.
Oh, of course, you can. I'm going to have you come right on this side. Come on, over here next. Okay. We're going to say some lovely things about you.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. So it is my pleasure to be here this evening and share an award for one of my most favorite people. Justine was one of the first people I met when I arrived in Granby because we were deep in COVID. When I arrived, she was the Farmington Valley Health District member assigned to coordinate COVID communications and contact tracing for Granby Public Schools. We spent many hours into the wee hours of the morning together, but it wasn't until after the pandemic turned into an endemic that I realized her true strengths, working in the arena of mental health. Justine and her staff, with the support of the whole Farmington Valley Health District, have written countless grants to receive funding so that that they can deliver trainings at no cost to our school system. She has been a partner in offering professional learning opportunities for staff, students, families, and the community at large. Ms. Reiner will speak to her work with students, but over the course of the past 3 years, we have worked together with the Farmington Valley Health District and Justine to film lessons for the Resilience Grows Here program, present on the dangers of social media to parents, provide suicide prevention training for staff and parents, and she and her team have trained 100% of our staff on youth mental health first aid. The only district to do that in the entire Farmington Valley.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Megan Reiner, and I'm the Proud Director of School Counseling, overseeing grades 6 through 12. And before I give my accolades to one of my favorite people in the world, who I've actually only known like 8 months, you would have never known it, I also want to air a side of gratitude to the administration, to our superintendent, to our assistant superintendent, because mental health first aid and the wellness and the social emotional well-being of our students and also our staff is a priority. And in good faith, taking this position, I could never feel that if that wasn't being put at the forefront, that I could do my job with enough integrity and that I could do enough for students. Because I never ever want to be on the receiving end of a parent calling me that their child committed suicide. I've lost a student before, and I hope that nobody ever experiences that pain and that anguish with how it affects an entire community. So the fact that the first layer of mental health first aid for every single high school student was put in place this year is incredible. It is touching, it is warming, and it is 100% responsible for not only Justine helping with bringing life to stories, but also the support of Principal Dunn and the coordination of Dr. Dill as a partner with coordinating an entire school to get students trained. So I'd like to just go into a little bit as to what this is so the community has a better idea. And we could then hear from the most important people, our beautiful, wonderful, strong, athletic, well-minded, ready to hit the world running, our seniors. So first and foremost, our partnership with Justine Ginsburg and the Farmington Valley Health District has been a cornerstone in creating a meaningful collaboration between Granby Memorial High School and an invaluable community provider. This partnership has been built on a foundation of trust, mutual respect, and an unwavering commitment to prioritizing student mental health. As of May 21st, I mentioned every student at the high school has completed the mental health training, a monumental milestone in our journey toward fostering a more informed, compassionate, and proactive school community. The word that I want to focus on is proactive and not reactive. This initiative is more than just a program. It's preventable, proactive approach designed to dismantle the stigma surrounding mental health challenges. It empowers students to become advocates not only for themselves, but for their peers, by equipping them with the knowledge and the tools to seek help when it is needed. We are committed to being part of the solution to the growing mental health crisis. As you heard from, I want to say Chairperson Logan, the statistics on mental health in the United States in accordance to LGBTQ youth amongst students with increased cell phone use and technology and isolation. The statistics are real, they're frightening, and we have a part in this, we have a responsibility. And this is why our efforts have extended beyond students to include faculty, staff, and interested parents. We ran a great session for parents as well. Through this collective training, we're building a community better prepared to recognize behavioral changes and respond with empathy and care. One parent who is also an educator shared her appreciation with our superintendent. She said, "Thank you so much for partnering with Farmington Valley Health Department," say that 5 times fast, "to bring the teen mental health first aid program to Granby Memorial High School. Ensuring that all students, staff, and interested parents have access to this vital resource is truly commendable. After completing over 7 hours of training, I feel empowered, both as a parent and as an educator, to recognize warning signs and intervene when necessary to support those facing mental health or substance challenges. Our students are not only learning, they are feeling seen, supported, and heard. They are building the courage and skills to stand by one another and contribute to a more understanding, emotionally safe school environment. We are deeply proud of this milestone and profoundly grateful to those who made it possible, especially my beloved Justine Ginsburg and Farmington Valley Health Department, because together we're taking meaningful steps to ensure that this is no longer a taboo subject, but an ongoing conversation grounded in compassion and care, and you bring that to every experience and every student. Nothing is more powerful than hearing from our students and their experiences, and I would like to welcome 2 of our seniors, Elena Nardi and Natalie Jones, who engaged in the full training to share with you their experience, because their experience is sure more powerful than mine.
Good evening. My name is Elena Nardi, and I'm a senior here at GMHS. I am honored to share my experience of mental health first aid training with Superintendent Burke, the Board of Education, and Assistant Superintendent Parsons. Prior to this training, I had a baseline knowledge about mental health, meaning I understood mental health was a real issue, but only on a surface level. However, following this experience, I gained more depth and awareness surrounding specific mental health diagnoses. Specifically, through the videos, I gained an eye-opening experience into the extent of how anxiety or depression could affect someone if it goes untreated. Plus, the real-life examples from Mrs. Ginsburg and some of the practice examples help to foster relatability to everyone, sharing that even at the lowest levels of the spectrum, mental health should be taken seriously. Through this universal experience for all students, the topic of mental health becomes less stigmatized, allowing people to open up and more freely speak about their true health, and prepares other friends to help others when needed. For instance, following this training, my friend shared a troubling experience with me. After explaining the scenario, she shared that she was very upset. With the knowledge of this training, I knew I needed to connect her with somebody to speak with. In reflection, after the training, I wish we had more examples of the scenarios that happened to high school students to help prepare me even more to help a friend if needed. Thank you for your time. Thank you.
My name is Natalie Jones, and I was selected to share my experience with the mental health first aid program from a student perspective. I wanted to share some of my takeaways from this experience, in addition to how I can use the information I have learned in health class and in the presentation as I graduate and go to college. I have taken 4 years of health classes with Nancy Giglione, Wally Hansen, and Patrick Norton, and I have learned a great deal of information about mental health and its effects. One takeaway from this experience that I will take into college is the mindset that you can overcome whatever you are going through, mental health-wise, by getting the right help. By explaining her backstory, Justine Ginsburg really captured everyone's attention and opened our eyes to many other things that we might have missed in the regular health lessons. She told us about her personal struggles with mental health and abuse, and then went on to tell us how she overcame those struggles. By doing this, she introduced and emphasized on the point that nothing is permanent, and reaching out for help is not a sign of weakness. Her vulnerability and comfort with sharing her story to the students made mental health as a topic less stigmatized, seeing as it was someone who endured these struggles and can relate to what she is teaching us. In the future, if this program runs again, it would be helpful to continue hearing more personalized stories of people who are struggling with various mental health concerns, to hear how they are getting help and to understand more of their story.
Thank you so much for all of your hard work. We appreciate it. We are very fortunate to have you teaching our students. Thank you for sharing your experiences. I love that certificate for you.
Thank you. Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you. Photos.
Oh, God. What color is beet red? Can I just quickly thank the board, please? Could you
Yes, give it
please?
to me. I got it. Okay. You look like you just won Miss America.
Oh, I know, there you go, without the tiara. I just want to take a moment to thank the board, to thank the parents, to thank the staff. I didn't come prepared with a speech, and those who know me know I could talk forever, so I'm literally going to talk for 10 seconds. Mental health is something that every single human being has. And we change the way communities work by schools having the courage to step up and to have every single teacher trained, every single high schooler trained, and ultimately available to every single parent to be trained. Because mental health is just a part of who we are. And if we can create parity between mental health and physical health, as communities, our children are going to thrive. So thank you.
Let's do a quick photo. Take your cedar flowers back. You get to hold those too.
Come on. We're going this way. Okay, you can be in.
No, I was saying,
There you go. You're in this as well.
Yesterday. Yeah.
Be blunt.
Hey, watch where you're walking, don't trip.
I'm holding her up. I got it. Thank you so much. Amazing work.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah, you might as well. Oh, I guess I should say. Whose glasses are these? Jen, are these yours? Okay, I'll make sure. Oh, yours? Okay. These are mine. Okay, we're good.
Tonight.
All right, I'm going to speak from the podium momentarily. We have two more sections here that we want to talk about. First of all, we are very excited to announce that a SRO officer, SRO, has been selected. And we are going to announce him tonight and introduce him to the community. So we're excited to do this. This was a board initiative this year that was overwhelmingly supported by the community. So I'm going to turn it over to Sherry to introduce.
Thank you. So I would like to invite Chief Sansom up with me as well. And Officer Dufresne, please come forward. We are really pleased to be able to share with the community this evening that we have selected Chris Dufresne as the school resource officer. To just share very quickly that it was a very engaging process to select the first school resource officer for Granby. It's a position that we will be, have already been and will continue to collaborate very strongly with the Granby Police, and Chief Sansom in just a moment will be able to share a few tidbits about Officer Dufresne. But I want to say that, excuse me, it was just an awesome experience to learn about the benefits of this role, to have collaborative opportunities to speak with the stakeholders across the community, to really gather input and identify what an SRO in Granby would be, what would be appropriate for our community and our school district. The committee was formed of a variety of stakeholders, including parents and school personnel across the district. And the highlight for me was the opportunity to bring Officer Dufresne to meet with two groups of students at both the middle and high school level and have that natural engagement and really see you with students, solidify that you were the just right choice. That was probably the hardest part for you. I enjoyed it greatly. And so we are very pleased to welcome you to Granby Public Schools in our joint effort with you, Chief. And if you want to say a few words, Chris.
Yeah, I'll say a few words. I know you're getting nervous, sure. You gave me the mic. Very long-winded, so I'll try to keep it short. Yeah. So as you know, I think I've made it clear that I'm not a big proponent of cops in schools, but I'm a huge proponent of SRO programs, and it's going to be a lot of work, right? We've only done a little bit of work so far.
The work is really starting.
Yeah, it's this, and this is where it really starts, because we're going to build this program how we want to see it for our children and to make it a safe, positive environment for everybody. So, and we're going to definitely have some growing pains. So it's going to be, well, we want you doing this, we don't want you doing that, and things of that nature from building them before in other communities. So, but we're going to build it the way you guys want it for Granby, and I think it'll be great. Chris, to talk about Chris now, he's actually my first hire. As most of you know, I've only been here about a year and a half. I think I was here a few months. So me and Chris came from different backgrounds, but I knew Chris. As soon as I heard the name, he wanted to come here. We recruited him because he's outstanding. He has a reputation all throughout the state of Connecticut in the K-9 area and community policing area. Military person, more than 20 plus years as a police officer in Enfield and down south. I think he started in Georgia. Yeah, Alabama. So did a few years there. So wide breadth of experience. Definitely to start a program, to get it off the ground. All three of the candidates that did come before you were awesome. So they wouldn't have left my desk to go forward to the panel if they weren't. But Chris will do an outstanding job getting this program up and running and to make it what it's going to be. And we'll be a front runner. I want to, to have the mental health first aid, and for you guys to bring that here, that's awesome. We actually brought the same program into the policing world. Me and a few others brought that into post, and it's that kind of. If you guys are bringing mental health first aid, I think we're going to be all set. We want to be a part of the fabric of the school. I think it's long overdue, and it'll be good. And there's going to be a lot of pressure on Chris and myself to make it work. But we just need input and we need help doing it. So with that, I'm going to have Chris say a few words. Okay?
Absolutely.
Well, first of all, thanks for having me. And I don't know how I'm going to create a speech after hearing all those great speeches we had so far tonight. So, Chief, Superintendent, thank you guys, everybody, for putting this together. I'm a firm believer in the program. I think it's going to do outstanding here in Granby. And as I said during the oral panel, I think my kind of two worlds collided when this position opened up, and I had to make a decision because I was in the schools in Ellington. I was responsible for 3 elementary schools in Ellington. After my retirement from Enfield, this position opened up, and I was like, I was really torn. And then within a year and a half being here, this opens up. So, like I said, the two worlds collided. I couldn't be happier to be the one. Hanging out with the kids and protecting the school. So thanks again for having me, and thanks again for voting for this to happen. Thank you.
Welcome. Thank you.
website. It'll be summer soon. Monica and Chief, would you join us? Oh, yeah, we're just going to do it.
We were bantering.
I know, sorry. Sorry to prolong the meeting, but.
But I need some furniture, Alfred, I'm afraid.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you so much.
We have one more.
We have one more. We have one more very special thank you and congratulations. Oh, we should go to the podium. For 28 years, Linda Powell, oh, she just said, oh, God. For 28 years, Linda Powell has been an assistant in central services.
High school first.
The high school first, that's right. She knows everything about everything in this district. If somebody said, what did we used to do? It's like, ask Linda Powell. What happened to the, ask Linda Powell. Always ask Linda Powell. She is an overwhelming wealth of knowledge and just about the nicest person I've ever met in my entire life. She will be retiring. This is her last meeting tonight. She told me right before the meeting that out of how many years that she's been in central services, she has missed one board meeting, one. She takes all of our notes meticulously, she supports all of us emotionally, and she knows where everybody keeps the extra file folders. It is phenomenal. We would be lost without her. We don't know what we're going to do, but she so deserves this retirement and deserves the greatest break. So we love you. We are going to miss you, but we are so grateful for you, and you are forever a part of our district. So thank you.
Okay.
Multiple times.
Good job.
Heels.
Super nervous like 10 times.
I know.
Ellie is ready to catch me.
All right, thank you, everyone. We are going to be moving along to public comment. Granby community engagement and attendance at Board of Education public meetings is welcomed and encouraged. As is our custom, the board views public comment as an opportunity for members of the public to share their comments and concerns with the board, and board members will not be responding to comments or engaging in a dialogue. As it deems appropriate, the board may place such matters on the agenda for future meetings for discussion in accordance with the Freedom of Information Act. Procedurally, public remarks will be limited to 5 minutes, and speakers will be asked to identify themselves by name and address. We expect comments to be respectful and civil in tone, and we do not permit name-calling, raised voices, personal attacks, or vulgarity. Lastly, we note that the superintendent is responsible for student and personnel matters. No speaker will be permitted to use public comment to bring complaints against any teacher, student, or staff member, or to discuss student matters which are confidential. Therefore, the use of student, teacher, or staff names is not permitted. Any such complaints or concerns should be directed to the superintendent and her team. As is our normal practice, we start with public comment with people who are present in the room, and then we will move to Zoom. I do ask that if you are on Zoom and you wish to make public comment, you enter your name in the queue or raise your hand so we do not miss you. Actually, I prefer you enter your name in the queue, because if you raise your hand, sometimes that vanishes. So let us know, and then we can get you in. I'm going to start with those present in the room. Is there anyone here who would like to make public comment? Please come on up.
My name is Karen McNay. My husband and I moved to Granby 46 years ago, and I just want to make some comments regarding an issue that came up at a recent Board of Education meeting. I feel, and I wrote down my comments so I won't wander. I don't even like public speaking, so one of the most important things we can send our children out into the world with when they graduate from high school is the ability to use critical thinking. That is the ability to analyze and evaluate information objectively, considering different perspectives and evidence to form their own considered opinions on the wide range of topics and situations they will come across in life. As for health education, my husband and I assumed that the school would provide appropriate health, or rather health/sex education. Given that our society has come to finally realize that our populations consist of people with different orientations towards their intimate relationships and who they choose to associate with, live with, marry, I think it is entirely appropriate for the students to be exposed to information about those people who identify as LGBTQ in these classes, as they are no doubt in school with some of these students who identify as such, and most of our students will certainly encounter them once out of school. Understanding that those who identify as LGBTQ have hopes, dreams, and expectations, as we all do, creates a healthier environment for everyone. And no, no one in my family identifies as such. I'm just here as a concerned citizen. All of this is to say that I support whatever education the school deems appropriate for these students. If they don't learn it in school, they will learn it from the older siblings of their friends, so they might as well learn what is actually true versus learning what is not true and possibly harmful. Thank you.
Is there anyone else in the room who wishes to make public comment? Oh, we heard, I'm sorry, I didn't see you over there.
Hi, good evening. I'm Hillary Peterson. I live on Heather Lane. And I am speaking in support of the recent 10th grade health and wellness topic that's been discussed and that my previous speaker spoke of. And for me, the issue is less about the subject matter and more about the option for families who want their student to opt out of particular subjects or topics. There are times my children come home and talk about topics they learned at school, and there are many things that they actually teach me because I don't know about those things and I'm unfamiliar with the subjects. And I see this as a great opportunity for my family, for the four of us to sit down and discuss together the things that they brought home from school. I have a son who is graduating next week, and I have two daughters who will be seniors next year in the school system, so they've all experienced this topic. My girls last year, my son 2 years ago. Together, when we talk about those things, we have difficult conversations, we listen to other points of view, and we have healthy debates. And these are lifelong skills that will help them when they're not with me and they're not in school. All these skills support our district's core values and the vision of the graduate. And I believe that the Board of Ed, the administrators, teachers, families, and community members all have a common goal. And that goal is to prepare our children to be successful contributors to society. And it takes us working together to make that happen. Our students are heading out into the real world, which is full of opportunities for success. And you can't be successful without uncomfortable moments. And when they arise, they won't be able to opt out. Do we want them to have to muddle through these situations without guidance? Allowing our students to opt out of topics that may be uncomfortable for them or for their families is not preparing them well for life after high school. Thank you.
My name is Nick Farraco. I've been here a few times. Retired guidance counselor, 35 years, Simsbury, in addition to many other things. But and live here in Granby on Fawn Drive. I'd like to thank the Board of Ed and for their hard work. I know this is your last meeting this year, and have a great summer. After watching the videos from last month's meeting, the assignment, I believe, was, health ed or sex ed. And I was considering that after watching them, that this is somewhat one-sided. It seemed like it was more like indoctrination rather than education. But enough said on that. Do any of you know the name Chloe Cole? You can nod. Chloe Cole? Any? You might want to write that down. Go home tonight, spend 5 minutes. Go on Google or YouTube and Google in Chloe Cole, "My childhood was ruined." She spoke before the Senate Judiciary Committee. Unfortunately, it fell on deaf ears for the most part because, unfortunately, it's all about the money. So, but I would encourage you to listen to her 5-minute presentation to the Senate Judiciary Committee. If you believe that you're open-minded and you want to keep an open mind, at least hear another side of the story. Thank you.
Okay, is there any more public comment? Please.
Hi, my name is Maria Peterson, and I live on Heather Lane. I'm a rising senior at GMHS. I'm going to talk about the 10th grade health curriculum, which I personally went through. The assignment that raised conflict was one that educated students on different kinds of people and had them write 3 paragraphs on it. I vaguely remember doing this assignment because it just seemed like a regular assignment to me, so I looked back at my work. I watched the 3 videos that I had chosen. I don't have access to the other ones, and didn't see anything wrong with them. I wrote 10 sentences for the written portion and most likely got an A. This assignment didn't require you to go full in depth of what each sexuality or gender identity meant, but just to have a basic understanding of it. There was no assignment or different sides, just simply explaining what each thing was. There was no argument of whether to support people of those identities or to not support them. I want to address parents who oppose this part of the curriculum. Why are you so opposed to this topic? Why don't you want your child to become educated in very real things that exist in this world? Your children are intelligent, and I believe that they have the ability to learn about what may be a difficult topic, because when else are they going to learn about it? Lastly, I understand that this topic may be controversial, but that doesn't mean we shouldn't talk about it. At the mature age of 15 or 16, kids should be developing skills of how to talk about controversial topics respectfully. Also, what defines a controversial topic? In my American Studies class, we have had many discussions on topics that could be seen as controversial regarding the economy, culture, abortion, gun rights, and more. What makes this one different? If students should be allowed to opt out of this LGBTQ+ topic, then should they also be allowed to opt out of other topics like these? While these topics are brought up so we can become educated on them, they are also brought up to learn important life skills. Not only the skill of being able to discuss something respectfully, but to also respectfully acknowledge other views. Respect is one of our core values at the high school, so let's show it. Thank you.
I think there was someone behind you. Please come on. And then you can go next, okay? Thank you.
Okay, Tony Flanagan, I live on Woodcliff. Put my eyes on. Okay, I don't have kids in school anymore, but I was watching that video online and I was not impressed at all, but probably would have pulled my kids out and sent them somewhere else. How do you have a 16-year-old girl stand on a stage saying all straight people are gay, they just haven't found the right person? You're talking to these teenagers who are going through puberty either late or early and are all confused only to add this kind of content to them. You know as well as I do that kids are not thinking straight at this time of their lives. To me, this is psychological warfare on them. They let them grow and figure out who they are or want to be. When we were growing up, we had kids that were in our class that were gay, straight, they even cross-dressed back then. We never treated them any differently around us. We were even friends. In work, I worked with all kinds of different people, gay, straight, trans. Not one of them would ever sit there and push it on anyone. They were like you are doing here. I have friends who have kids, well adults, now who say they are gay, and I don't treat them any differently. They are still the same person they have always been since I have known them. To me, this is borderline grooming by telling kids, like I said before, all straight people are gay, you just haven't found the right person. Seriously, that is grooming. Kids have enough on their plates these days with peer pressure. You're adding to their stress levels. This is something I don't expect my tax dollars paying for. I will not be responsible for what can and could happen to these kids. Stop telling them what to do and how to think. What happens to you if you treat people the way you do? You want them to treat you the same way you treat them. No one should look at anyone different. I don't care about what color you are, sexual preference. You are people, and kids need to learn how to treat others with respect. That starts at home and goes through their lives. We don't need schools teaching them how to be gay, or it's great to be trans, or have a vagina. I'm a woman now, sorry. There are only two genders, male and female. If there wasn't, none of us would be sitting here right now. Men don't wake up and say, I have a vagina, I'm a woman, or vice versa. How about the school literally focus on how these kids need to live in the future, like finances, reading, writing, everything that you need to live your life and get through your life. Get them ready for college, not trying to convince them they're something they're not. Stop looking for these videos that Ellen DeGeneres puts out. She doesn't have kids, has no idea. So how can you expect the kids to follow it? She also is not an educator. This is my, my opinion and my beliefs, that you are not accomplishing anything here. You're just hurting and setting them back. I suggest you let everybody decide on their own who they are, what they are. If you want to teach them something, teach them. You treat people the way you want to be treated. I don't care what you are, who you identify as, what you have here is the only thing that matters. You treat people the way you want to be treated. And you don't look at them differently just because they want to be different. But instilling this into people, it gives them ideas. Mostly wrong. Thank you.
Is there, oh yeah, please, come on up.
Hello everyone, my name is Jacob Tong. I'm a rising senior at GMHS. I live on Heartland Road in West Granby, and I'm a proud advocate for the LGBTQ plus community. As a student in the Granby public school system, I don't see anything inherently wrong with the current health and wellness curriculum at our school. I've noticed that the topics we discuss in our classrooms have been labeled as uncomfortable and controversial in previous meetings. And while I do agree that these topics are sensitive for members of our town, and I commend the speakers who brought this topic into the light, I do believe that the uncomfortableness of what's being taught is reflective of the stigma that we need to address head-on in our classrooms. More so, these concerns are proving that we actually do need to be shedding light on these topics. If you aren't willing to educate your children on the importance of acceptance and respect, somebody does. The way these topics were described is my main reason for speaking in front of you all today. The assignment under much scrutiny is one that I had the privilege of participating in during my semester in health last year. Our teacher gave us many resources highlighting the meaning of, the challenges faced by, and the harmful stereotypes inflicted on the members of the LGBTQ plus community. The videos I watched had nothing to do with anyone's sexual relations, more so about the importance of being able to express oneself and feel safe. I feel privileged because in teaching us these lessons, my school is showing me that I am safe and respected in the classroom. However, the ways the members of our community come up and spoke about these lessons in the last meeting makes me think that some people might be highly misinformed and possibly uneducated on these topics. Describing what was shown to these students as sexual relations and unappropriate, not inappropriate, garbage is downright offensive and disrespectful because the purposes and intent of these videos and lessons are not to sexualize children or influence them into seeking out inappropriate behavior, but it's to educate these teenagers, as my friend Maria Peterson said, on very real and very serious aspects of different people's lives that they cannot control. I believe the reason why our school chose not to seek parental permission to discuss these topics is because they expect emotional maturity and a level of intelligence from their students to speak about these topics without being hateful or insulting towards others. In my opinion, every parent has every right to talk to their child about their beliefs and boundaries. But it is also upon parents to educate and make sure that their children are mature enough that when these topics are brought up in school, talking about the experiences and emotions of people, that when they hear the words penis or vagina, they don't automatically think of inappropriate or offensive matters. I believe that is a separate issue that we need to discuss at another time, as the class is called Health and Wellness. And we're talking about the things because it is helpful to learn about the health and wellness of our peers and ourselves. I took the time to read my own responses from the assignment from last year, and these are my questions for you. First off, I wrote, I felt inclined to watch this video because I strive to be more open to people of different identities and how to respect them. How does one come to the conclusion that this video is not about respect, but instead inappropriate sexual things? Secondly, I also wrote, what can be learned from this video is that it is always an option for people struggling with any problem to reach out to professionals that can give them the help they need. And the video I was talking about then is about the presence of a hotline for teenagers in situations that require it. How is it in any way that this is sexual either? Is it inappropriate to give resources to children in need? Finally, I would like to request that the parents or community members that have any problem with our current curriculum to think about the information I presented to you today and think about how it contrasts with the information on the same topic that was previously discussed. Hopefully this information will bring forth a new perspective and understanding of the true intentions of our class. Thank you.
Is there anyone else present that would like to make public comment? Please.
Hi, I'm Judy Baum-Barron. I live on Long Lot Road in West Granby, and I have 2 children in the high school. And I'd like to share a quote, and it's, all young people, regardless of sexual orientation or identity, deserve a safe and supportive environment in which to achieve their full potential. This quote is ascribed to Harvey Milk. For those who may not know, Harvey Milk was a gay rights pioneer and one of the first openly gay politicians in California. He was assassinated in 1978, another interesting fact is that he actually served in the Navy. And in 2016, the Navy actually named a vessel, a ship, after him. And around the same time, I believe they named a bunch of other ships after other civil rights pioneers. Just recently, I think it was yesterday, it was announced that the current administration is stripping all of those names off of those vessels, Harvey Milk and others, simply trying to, I guess, erase history. Saying that gay people and black people and other civil rights leaders don't matter, and it's really sad. And I'm seeing a lot of things like this under the current administration. And I just wanted to speak today to let you know that I support the Granby education system. I've been happy with how the schools have been for my children. And I just hope that you'll continue to be a safe and supportive environment for Granby children. That's all I had to say.
Do we have any additional public comment here in the room? I think Mr. Kremarenko, and then you can go right after that, okay? Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Mike Kremarenko. Most of you know me. I want to thank you all for donating your time to our schools and our children, helping us. I don't have anything written. I'll keep it kind of quick. As far as the SRO, I think it's good. They gave the town budget committee ways of raising money for the kids to bring in and donate money to go towards bulletproof vests and stuff for him. We can discuss that later. I see a lot of signs around town, hate has no place. Here, nobody hates anybody. I'm not gonna say all the letters, I just call it gay because they all stand for gay. Nobody hates anybody. We just all need to get along. You know, in my religion, to answer one of the girls' questions, it is a sin to be gay. And to us, it is a sin. That's why we decide to opt out, because it is wrong in our eyes. Doesn't mean everybody believes that way, but to us, we do. It is indoctrination of the kids. Like the chairperson said, you know, with the suicide, you know, great having mental health. I agree with all that. But if you look, ever since we've been pushing this gay agenda on our children, there's been a lot more self-harm, suicide, mental health issues. These mental health issues come along with being a certain lifestyle. And I think we need to look at that too. So, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hold on, I can't read. My name is Deborah Newey, and I live on Silky Road. I'm here to voice my support for the school's inclusive curriculum in health classes. I do believe it's important to have a safe space for our teenagers to discuss and ask questions about sexuality and about LGBTQ issues. I also believe it's important for our kids to learn the facts about sexuality, respect, and consent while they are still teens. LGBTQ issues are part of that. Teenagers can benefit from having a trusted person that they can ask questions and get factual information, and be able to talk to their peers in the classroom. They will be getting a lot of information from the internet and media, a lot of which is untrue or disrespectful or even hateful. A safe space at school to talk about these things can help counter the disinformation in the media. It's important to me that my kids are taught that LGBTQ people exist and deserve the same respect that all people deserve. So I thank the schools for presenting these inclusive issues to our kids. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Lillian Bruff. I live on Evergreen Drive. I come from a very conservative Christian background. I still consider myself a Republican at this moment. I have a hard time with a lot of the policies that are happening. But I want to tell you that no one is indoctrinated to be gay. No. No. I have children who have many friends who are gay. They were gay before they had the curriculum. They were LGBTQ plus, they were trans before the curriculum was even in place. What this has done is an opportunity for my children to learn about other people. I have one child that has the opportunity to go to school at a half-day program with many people who do not identify as a normal binary person. And they are phenomenal children. They are so beautiful. So if we take away the opportunity to have the beauty of other people and other different backgrounds, that is not okay.
I'm Britta Gottberg. I live on Harmony Hill Road. I want to thank the Board of Ed for all the time that you give, and thank you for leading our school district so that our children can learn reading, writing, arithmetic, and go to college, which my son graduates next Tuesday. So You're doing a great job, so thank you. I'm here in support of comprehensive sex ed. I taught comprehensive sex ed at Youth Services for a number of years, and 2009 study, 2020 study says that comprehensive sex ed has been found to significantly lower homophobia, increase empathy towards those coming out, and reduce homophobic bullying. It also shows that sex education that's culturally responsive and inclusive helps young people develop the social and emotional skills they need to become caring and empathetic adults. And that's what I see happening here. And that tension needs to be there for people of all walks of life to learn about everyone else. And we had a great example actually earlier in the meeting when you were giving the award to Justine and her speaker. One of the students that was up here said, I was able to listen to someone's experiences about what they had gone through, and I learned more than I could have understood about mental health issues. And that's what this curriculum is, giving the opportunity to learn about other people's experiences. I've raised my kids in this town with a lot of people in this room, with a lot of people on Zoom, and I really want to believe that we are all more alike than we are different. We have more in common than we have differences. And I think that this is something that right now is so politicized and is so polarized. And really, we want our children to be healthy, be loved, be welcomed. And I am grateful for those students who maybe during one generation, everyone knew they were gay, but they were just kind of ignored and not. But now, those students can look at a curriculum and go, I see me there. And that other people can understand their experience by learning from someone else. So that's all I want to say. Thank you.
Is there anyone else in the room who wishes to make public comment before I move on to Zoom? Oh, thank you.
My name is Kim Becker, and I live on Loomis Street in North Granby. Congratulations on this very successful school year. The Granby Education Foundation and this community, thank you for all your hard work and diligence, as well as your stewardship and innovation across our schools. As a parent and Granby resident, I commend you all for supporting students through their education journey, certainly, but also through their maturing as young adults. We know how difficult middle school and high school can be as kids change, hit various physical and emotional developmental milestones, grapple with shifting social circles, and learn increasingly complex concepts in classes. Meeting kids where they are has always been a pillar of good education and the backbone of creating good citizens. Helping our students see past others' differences and into their humanity is a critical step towards fostering the empathy that builds good neighbors and colleagues in the future. I know that some people have concerns about exposing their children to the concepts of race and LGBTQ+ people. I would rather them learn a bit about these concepts in school and read age-appropriate books in our libraries than seek out information on the internet. Between the actual rumors, disinformation, and general lack of civility on the screen, reading a curated book, or talking to a school employee, or joining an affinity club is a much safer and better informed choice for any student to make. I applaud the teachers, staff, and administrators who support all of their students on their journeys to become educated, community-oriented members of Granby and the world beyond. For the past 25 years, the Granby Education Foundation has supported education programs and opportunities throughout our community, but especially in our schools. I have worked with this diverse, all-volunteer group of Granby residents for a decade. I think it's important to state that regardless of age, gender, race, religion, ethnicity, or political affiliation, the board has consistently and unanimously voted in support of students and teachers discussing a wide range of topics and never questioned our school professionals' ability to navigate difficult discussions. We have trusted the professionals to handle their classrooms and provide their students with appropriate levels of support and guidance for academic and career success, as well as personal growth. We very much look forward to next year's proposals. Thank you.
Did you want to speak?
Yes. My name is Camden Boulay. I live on Strong Road, and I have a lot to say about the previous topic, but I'm going to refrain from that. And instead, I'd like to talk about a fundraiser that I'll be putting on that I think I've shared with a lot of you on the board. And many of you may have heard about it at this point. It's called Jammin' for Jake. Jake Rossi is a senior at Granby Memorial High School who has Down syndrome and for the last few months has been suffering with cancer. And so I and a few in my bandmates, because I'm in a band, have decided to put on a little benefit concert style thing for him. So that will be taking place on June 20th this month, in a couple weeks. There will be food trucks, there will be live music at 6 to 9 p.m. A lot of great things. There will be outdoor activities. And $20 for adults and $15 for students and seniors. It's a little great Granby get-together to support a fellow Granby student. So I hope to see everyone there. And I do have a few flyers, if anyone wants some.
Good work, yeah.
It's at the high school.
At the high school, yeah. We're not supposed to opine during public comment, but I do want to applaud that one. And I'm glad you were here to speak about that, to get the message out. I know it's being shared via social media, so thank you. All right, I'm going to move along to Zoom, unless there's any other public comment. We're going to try to move things along. Okay, on Zoom, is there anyone that wishes to speak, make public comment? There we go.
Hello.
Hello, we can hear you.
Hi, my name is Ann Woods. Sorry, I hear an echo. I'll try to get through this. I'm assuming you can hear me.
We can. We don't hear the echo.
My name is Ann Woods, and I have a current freshman at the high school. Thank you to the Board of Ed for providing the opportunity for people to provide public comments and for letting this go on way longer than what's on your agenda. So thank you. I'm speaking in reaction to the comments presented by parents at the last BOE meeting regarding the 10th grade health education curriculum. I was concerned there was quite a few parents who seem to be unaware of the various ways health and physical education are communicated and information is made available. While the ideas of providing better notification to parents so it's top of mind is valid, parents, I think, should truly take some ownership in our responsibility to already know about this health and physical education curriculum. Many comments to, quote, do better, go for all of us. I regularly attend the open house every single year, even though my kids may not be first in that school, middle school or high school, I always still go. And at the beginning of the school year, this year at open house, the wellness teacher told us plainly and directly about the sexual health curriculum. She even talked about how students reacted to it, how some are uncomfortable, how some speak up, and she did mention the options of sharing feedback as parents and the ability to opt out. And it's not something I forgot because it was told to us directly because I was at open house. On the website, there is the program of studies that lists the required wellness course for all 10th graders. And then also on the website, there is a deck that lists the healthy and balanced living curriculum that lists a few things that many parents mentioned at the last meeting. One is the amount of hours required by the state for sexual health education, which is 12 hours. The qualifications of a teacher that teaches sex ed, which, just a side note, with the appropriate certification, a librarian would be qualified by state standards to teach those courses. And lastly, there's a core content indicator to teach students, quote, to differentiate between sexual orientation, sexual behavior, and sexual identity. It's all right there, and it shouldn't be a surprise. Also, I'm a very strong ally of the LGBT community, and I will always staunchly advocate for them. Many individuals in the LGBT community regularly receive hate directed at them and are regularly excluded, and made to feel like they don't belong or they're not normal. Those not in this community have the luxury of not dealing with that. That's why we have Pride Month for some of the parents of the last meeting. That treatment is wrong, it's hateful, and it's closed-minded. Creating awareness, allyship, and empathy for the LGBTQ community and their specific health and physical issues is important. I urge the Board of Ed and the high school to maintain your broad and diverse view of health and physical education to truly create thinkers, collaborators, and contributors. Thank you.
Do we have anyone else on Zoom who wishes to make public comment?
Hi, my name is Kim, and I would like to discuss this talk of hate.
Kim, could you identify yourself by last name and street name, please?
Sure, absolutely. Roman Juniper Drive. I think more than anything, and I hope I speak for the vast majority of those that are not supportive of the curriculum that was, or I shouldn't say that, because we all have read the curriculum, and we're very aware of what it says, but I'm terribly disappointed in the way it was executed. And I think that's more of what we're fighting about. We're not fighting about that we don't love these people, or we don't love those people, or anything. We love all people, and we teach our children to love all people, and we are inclusive of all people. But we are talking about also including and also having a safe place for our heterosexual children. So I would like to see a more diverse execution of the scope and sequence. So not just a place where they can come and discuss one side of a coin, but both, because as many people have said, we are trying to launch our children to college. We are trying to give them diverse viewpoints. Of course, they know exactly what these terminology and definitional things are, because they do have phones and they are exposed because they have friends that are of different faiths, of different color, of different backgrounds, which is beautiful, and that's what makes this America and makes our world go around. But what we are, and I'm speaking for a group of people, because I'll speak for myself here, but I'm thinking others feel the same way. We would like to see both sides of the coin. We would like to see a more diverse execution of this scope and sequence. So you would be showing a heterosexual male or a heterosexual woman, and that would be critical thinking, and that would be a way to debate. You cannot debate one side if you're just teaching one side. A debate happens because there's two sides, and it should happen healthily. It should happen in a safe place for both parties, and it should happen in school setting, and we all agree to that. We did not feel that a young man praying for a vagina when he was a teenager was appropriate. So hopefully everyone viewed all 19 of the videos. Those videos were not quote unquote inclusive. They were quite disturbing. Some of them, like the asexuality video, explained things, which was great, and that's what we're looking for. We're looking for definitions. We're looking to get an idea of what's going on and inform people, and we understand that. What we don't understand is the constant one side, and that's not for school. School is a place to develop critical thinking. So I think we can all agree to that. Sorry, I'm just going to read one more thing here too. And high school is a prime time for adolescents to build their identity, and the most important factor in building it is learning about their own beliefs as well, and how those beliefs impact the decision making, which we know is not fully developed until they're 25 and beyond. And when we show videos to adolescents who are impressionable and in such a vulnerable state, as we all explained in the mental part of this, the mental health part of this, we need to do our justice as adults to ensure it is unbiased, and these videos are and they're further from the unbiased viewpoint. We asked over 24 individuals to watch the videos and provide feedback. And many of them agreed with us. They said, and these were people from both sides of the coin. So we just would like to see a more diverse environment for all of our students and a safe place for all of our students. And if that includes opting out or opting in, whatever that looks like, we would love to see that happen. And we know you guys are putting things in place, and we're excited to see how this will morph next year for those upcoming freshmen. Thank you so much.
Is there anyone else on Zoom who wishes to make public comment? Going once? Going twice? All right, I am closing public comment, and we are moving on with the rest of the meeting, okay? Thank you, everyone, for sharing your thoughts. Next up, I know our student representatives really wanted to leave early tonight.
Oh, no, are you missing the sunset? Not yet.
Are you missing it?
No, I don't think so. Okay, go
all right.
fast.
Go fast.
Okay.
Our student representative reports really quickly. First of all, this is
Senior
Ms. Katie
sunset.
O'Neill's final board meeting with us. And here's what a senior sunset.
So it's kind of sad, but the year is coming to a close. Senior capstone was last week on May 28th, where seniors got to present their presentations on a topic that they chose to research for a semester, and I had mine on Wednesday. I thought it went really well, and I think everybody had a very nice time doing that. Underclassmen awards were May 30th during school, so underclassmen were able to be recognized for their achievements, either meritoriously in the
I'm going to ask that the audience please be quiet while our student reps are presenting. Thank you.
meritoriously in the classroom, or on their personal attributes. This was the seniors' last day, and today we had our prank. It was really funny, guys. It was pretty fun and harmless, though. We had a cookout outside by the snack shack. There was cornhole, someone brought a grill, fired up a lot of hot dogs. We had lots of leftovers. But it was really fun. Nice to be outside. Finals start tomorrow, and I'm sure everybody's really excited about that. Graduation rehearsals are next week, June 9th to June 10th in the morning, and then graduation will be June 10th at 5:30. Like Camden mentioned earlier, Jammin' for Jake is a fundraiser to benefit Jake and the Rossi family, June 20th, 6 to 9 at GMHS. I've heard both the Attic and the Keys, both bands are very, very good for student groups, and I'm very excited to see everybody there and supporting Jake, who's an amazing attribute to our community. So yeah.
Thank you so much, Katie. If you want to run out of here right now,
I
you
could
go.
wait for Sophia.
Okay.
Sophia just has exams to study for now.
Just a couple tests.
Senior sunset.
Okay, so for sports, all of our sports teams started their games for states this week. Our boys tennis and baseball teams ended their seasons on Monday, and our girls softball team had a game today after a victory on Monday for the first game of states, and I think they won their game today, so they're going to be going on to the third round of states. Boys golf had a match Monday and Tuesday, and they have one today. And girls lacrosse had a game yesterday versus Morgan where they won 19-7. Boys lacrosse had a game today against St. Bernard, and girls lacrosse moves forward in their states game on Friday night against. Oh, they won? Okay, sorry. I didn't know. The girls move forward in their states game Friday night against Old Lyme.
That's it. Thank you. I'm not going to ask the board if they have any questions for you. I'm sorry. I'm going to let you guys go.
Thank you.
Good luck with your exams.
Thank you.
Actually,
I'm sorry.
not for that. I have a question. Mike, Mr. Dunn, I usually donate to the Safe Grad, and I was wondering if I give you a check before I leave tonight, can you get it to them?
I sure can.
All right, thank you. I've just realized when she was talking, I didn't give my donation to Safe Grad. So I was like, oh, I want to make sure it gets.
Well, and anyone that wishes to make a donation can just.
Okay.
They were looking for gift cards.
Good luck.
See you Tuesday.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, that's what usually they, I give them a check to buy gift cards.
Oh, you might have a gift card.
Yeah, so.
Oh my gosh. All right.
I just have.
Thank you to our student representatives. I hope Katie makes it there in time. All right. Reports and discussion, the annual technology report. Mr. Lambert always gets the exciting June meeting for his technology report.
I know, I feel like I have to be brief now, but that's fine.
I told him brevity tonight.
Well, thank you for having me. It's been a bit busy year in technology. Can you play that?
There you go.
Technology touches on a lot of different initiatives and departments, so it's impossible to cover everything. So if you have any questions, just feel free to jump in. This is the structure of our department. I'm the director. Frank Melanson's our technology operations manager. Very talented guy. He works with all of our different systems on the network, security, you name it, all the infrastructure. John Croninger is our IT information technology specialist. His primary focus is on our student information system and our software applications, which are many. Yuri Dominguez is our district technician, and he's fairly new. John Croninger was in that role previously, and he's been working closely with Yuri to mentor him and doing a terrific job, both of them. Tristan Gruden is our former technician for the schools. We recently combined in the last year with the town to support them for information technology, and Tristan was hired as the systems administrator for the town. Frank works closely with him, cross-training on the school side too, and he just does a fantastic job. We also partner with Catherine, who's running our presentations and does so for all the municipal meetings and events, and Mark Bombard from GCTV. So just wanted to give them kind of a shout out. Thank you for all of your help. And Andy Buckle, who is actually Jen Parsons' administrative assistant, but he supports our website, all the content you see on there, and he works closely with us to help us process all of our software renewals throughout the year and all of our IT purchase throughout the year as well, which is a lot of work. So thanks to Andy too. And thanks to Jen for lending them to us. So these are just kind of our departmental responsibilities. I'm not going to go through them all, but they're pretty self-explanatory. We provide support for both the town and schools, technology support, maintenance, all of our telecommunications, security systems, building systems, alarms, key fobs. There's just too many to list. So we'll move on from there. There is a shared IT services agreement with the town that's in place. This is pretty self-explanatory, but this is what it's all about. Providing better support for both sides and some redundancy and efficiencies on both sides as well. Highlights from last year. Last year we entered into an agreement with the town for the shared IT services. Specific benefits, just leadership, budget, and technology support. Our department staff is a huge highlight. The guys just go way above and beyond all year. They're happy to take on new responsibilities and learn whatever they need to, whatever needs to be done in terms of technology support. They're just outstanding, and it should be recognized. Other than that, just going down the list, we replaced a lot of equipment this year. We were awarded a grant for displays for Kelly Lane, which is great for the second grade classrooms, and just a lot of network upgrades, systems upgrades throughout the year. And then for next year, it'll be much of the same. Our goal is to just keep maintaining a high level of support for technology. One of our major initiatives for this upcoming year, You've heard about the merging of the schedules. John Croninger, our information technology specialist, has been working closely with the high school and the middle school team to hammer that out, and it's been very challenging given the limitations of the software and all the different aspects of the schedule. So I want to recognize John for that too as well. A new initiative we have going this year is Parent Square software, which is actually going to replace a lot of our existing communications software. What that is it's kind of a one-stop shop for communications for the district. We use a lot of different things here and there to make phone calls to parents for attendance. But this will bring them all into one place, and it will realize some savings from it too. So it's great. We're looking forward to launching that. Some of the capabilities it has is mass notifications to the community, mobile application for administrators and parents and students. In fact, it combines attendance notifications, teacher and classroom communications, direct messaging, forms and permission slips, appointment signups, parent-teacher conference signups, and volunteer work. There's also a payment system in there, so that'll be a big rollout for this upcoming school year. And then we'll just continue on with we do a lot with cybersecurity as a big focus for us. Maintaining the network, keeping it reliable. Our uptime has been fantastic, and that's all attributed to the team. So that's great. And just going over some hot topics in education technology, our cybersecurity, of course. It's a big concern always for us. Web filtering, keeping the kids safe online, making sure we screen software applications, and then just the management of all of the software and the security that's involved with that. We have about 150 software applications that we use throughout the year, so it's a big challenge there. Artificial intelligence is a huge topic in education. How do we use it? How do we govern it? Generative artificial intelligence, which is anything that can be produced from AI, such as assessment results or music, things of that nature. And then digital literacy is a big one for students in terms of digital citizenship, really, and how to act responsibly online and when using technology. So, and then those are some of our expectations for the department on the bottom. I won't go through them all. I encourage you to read through the report. I know it's been a long evening, so I've trimmed a lot out. But thank you for your support of technology. And we're lucky to work here. We love our jobs. We have a fantastic team. I'm so lucky to work with them. And they've been here for a long time. They're doing a great job, so.
And we're lucky to have you too. Thank you for all you do. And I can't even imagine how complicated the schedule change was. Like, when you said that, I was like, oh, I didn't think of, yeah.
Behind the scenes.
Yeah, the behind the scene, that is extremely challenging.
Yeah. I try not to get too in-depth with technology because people's eyes start rolling.
Yeah.
But there's a lot, and if you ever have questions, please feel free to reach out to the department. We're happy to explain it to bore you to death.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions?
I do. Just appreciate it.
David has one.
Hey, John, thank you. A couple of years ago, we were hearing a lot about denial of service attacks on schools. Has that calmed down, or have we just gotten better?
Not at all. No, it hasn't calmed down. It's really been there's a lot of denial of service attacks. There's a lot of ransomware attacks. You may have heard Power School, our student information system, had a breach. We notified everyone, but it's hard to know what threats are out there. We have a small department. We're always thinking about it. But our main strategy to deal with that has been back everything up, back it up some more. And I can't go into too much detail about what we use,
Sure.
but I'd be happy to discuss it offline.
Okay.
And we're also concerned with breaches too, because we can have it backed up, but if our data is exposed, it's still exposed. So, but at least the best we can do is be vigilant and have a good strategy for recovery.
And speaking from experience, that's what I'm asking my next question. Assuming there was a lightning strike on the server, is our stuff somehow backed up somewhere, some way?
Well, the cloud applications are backed up by the vendors online in the cloud, so it's hard to get away from that because that's where everything will move to a subscription-based model, and it's a big challenge to keep costs down because they can raise the rates every year on you, but that software that we do have in-house and systems that we have in-house, we back it up several different ways, off-site, on-site, unplugged from the internet, unplugged from the network, in a fireproof safe, but I won't go into any
Sounds like
more
Mission
detail.
Impossible.
It's important because, our financial system and things like that, those go down, people still need to get paid, so.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, it's
I'm not
all
gonna
fun
say-
and games until it actually happens, which it did happen one year. I don't know if you remember the Halloween snowstorm that we had.
Oh, sure.
With all the trees down, but
Yeah.
it happened and we were disconnected. We had to set up financial system in a location somewhere with a generator and all of that. So, yeah, we're always thinking about it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Winter Storm Albert. It had a
Yes.
name.
That was a scary one,
That was crazy.
trying to get home from a wedding that night.
But it's my
Not being
understanding,
able to.
in regard to the cyber issues, it's caused our insurance to skyrocket a little bit.
It's
Working in the
costly,
insurance
yeah.
industry, and it's been challenging managing the cyber issues. So,
Yeah, there's been a lot of them, so.
yeah,
We've been fortunate, but we're not.
We're not
We're still
immune, right?
vulnerable, but, we're proactive as much as we can be.
thank you for all you do. Are there any additional questions?
Thank you, John.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for your support.
Thank you.
Next up, we have our early childhood update. We have Principal Colleen Bava, Assistant Superintendent Jennifer Parsons, and we have Kate Weingartner joining us tonight. That's usually her. She's here.
Yes. And this is a great one too, to have the crowd left.
Good evening again. We're excited to bring to you an update on a variety of early childhood initiatives and things that have been happening in the schools over the past couple of years. Just for a frame of reference, early childhood is often thought of as preschool, but it's actually the time from birth to grade 3 or age 8. The state of Connecticut offered a wonderful program through UConn, an early childhood endorsement for administrators. I had the honor of participating in that program in the previous district, and when I came here, we recommended Principal Colleen Bava at Kelly Lane to also participate in that program. So we love talking about early childhood. And Kate is also here with us and has a wealth of knowledge also. So Colleen's going to get started, and then I'll jump in.
Thank you, everybody. This is a passion of mine, of course, from pre-K to 2, so do I have the thing? Okay. So part of being an early childhood or a pre-K to 2 school is an integrated preschool program. You'll find those throughout the state at many or most elementary schools. And currently we have housed for several years, I think 15 years, we've had about 2 classrooms, which include 4 half-day sessions, a morning and an afternoon. This is to support our students first it's funded by the IDEA Part B, Section 619 grant, and it provides an opportunity for early intervention. So we have birth to 3 that gets serviced when students go to services, and we take on their IEPs or their individualized education plans. So we have to support an education for students starting at age 3. So where that comes in is our integrated preschool. It does serve our special education population through that child find, And integrated preschool is 60-40. So what that means is that we have to have supportive peers that would be positive influences and support our students that need a little bit more guidance, whether it's speech and language, whether it's motor skills, whether it's just play skills. That is where that gets supported. And then it bridges into our kindergarten. Our pre-K wonderful opportunity this year that we are embarking on is we have several identified students who, through the process of special education, has been identified that they need a full-day program. So that's where they would receive additional services for physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech services, and more academic support in a full-day setting. So in order to support that, we also need peers that would support a full-day program. So we are able to increase our day to a few more students to support that. And we took one of our classes and made it into a 4. So students that have been in preschool currently, or students that are almost ready for kindergarten but not have quite met that age requirement yet, especially with the new kindergarten age change. So we're very excited. All of the curriculum, whether it's in the half-day program or the full-day program, is supported with the Connecticut ELS, which is the Early Childhood Standards for State of Connecticut. All of our additional costs have been and will supported with tuition from our peers. So we're doing a great job.
So let's pause. So at no cost to taxpayers of Granby, we have been able to develop a pilot year for a full-day preschool.
Yep.
This better meets the intervention needs for identified students, and it provides more slots for our typical peers, kids that do not need IEP service, but they serve as role models in this integration. And as the board knows, the age for kindergarten has changed. So that leaves some parents looking for a whole additional year of preschool, and for those 4-year-old children that aren't going to make the cutoff. So I just want to really emphasize what Ms. Bava just shared, because it's really to be celebrated. The 3 women that are standing here rolled up their sleeves and got it done at no cost. We're not adding a teacher, nothing. We just restructured the program in order to reduce one half-day section in order to have a full day, and we still have 2 half-days. This will be the first year, and we'll see how it goes. And we're hopeful that that'll better meet the needs of what we're seeing from birth to 3 coming into the school district, students that are requiring more intensive support.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Sorry, isn't the state just approved a lot more funding for preschool education?
So we're hearing, as of yesterday, that there will be some additional funding for special education and for preschool, and there was a third talking point, which I'm blanking on right now. We're watching it really closely, but we haven't seen any dollars, we haven't seen any commitment. But you're reading my mind, Dave, because if that comes to fruition, we'll be able to continue growing the program once we have a solid, pilot year under our belt to see how that works. So we're trying to just stay one step ahead, no cost. We're doing it with existing resources. Typical peers do pay tuition, and so that will help offset, additional curriculum materials. But then if money comes through from the state, we'll be ready with a pilot program that can grow.
Yeah. So we're excited to embark on this year. We have the support from the teachers, and the student need is there. And like I said, we have worked really hard to have it at no additional cost. And we're adding, they're actually also going to an additional day. So the full day will be 5 days a week. So that's actually excellent. We use already existing transportation. We already, everything else is, like I said, embedded in the cost. So we're excited.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And then that leads to our kindergarten entry age. And so 2 years ago, the state had put together we were one of the last states to go to September 1st as a cutoff for kindergarten age. So what we had done, what the state had put forth is a waiver also that students can be, parents can request if their birthday falls between September 1st and December 3rd, or September 2nd really, and December 31st. They would then have an in-person assessment to see if their child is has kindergarten readiness skills, both social, emotionally, and academically. And then a parent meeting with myself and discussing what the observation was, discussing what recommendations from previous preschools, and possibly just parent input too, right? We know that that's a big thing for little learners. So what we have received is, in the first year, we had 12 applications of birthdays between September 2nd and December 31st. The first year, we did waive everybody. They all came in for an assessment, but we did decide to move forward with that because it was the first year, and parents at that point, it was only a couple months before kindergarten started, that it was going to be a challenge to just not know that in ahead. So now that we know more, we're able to give parents information when they come into preschool about that age change, and people are more prepared for longer stints in preschool or just finding other opportunities until kindergarten ready. So then this year, currently, we had 14 applications, 11 were granted. So those are some things that based on the assessment, based on parent conversations with myself, and based on preschool recommendations is why we make those decisions. The other thing is parents do fill out an ages and stages, which is a normed assessment, a questionnaire that they put forth of what they've seen. Typically, what you would do at a pediatrician, like how many words is your child speaking, do they hop, do they skip, those kind of things to be ready. Because at this point, now we have students that are turning 6, possibly 7 in kindergarten. So that's 6 months to 1 year difference based on when their birthday falls. So it does change the game a little bit for those little learners.
Thank you. And I do believe that potentially one of the additional items that we heard about yesterday was discontinuing that waiver in 2027. And so we have had a really nice transition, but it's really hard when families come in that their first interaction with the school district is saying, we're not sure if your child can start yet. And so having a hard and fast, September 1 is the day, will be really, really nice and facilitate that interaction. So the quote here says that play is the work of the child. And so we're going to talk a little bit about a few play-based opportunities that we have integrated into the pre-K2 school. And this is just a reference of all of the benefits, both brain-based, interpersonal, whole body, and benefits of play, and how play really is a vehicle for academic skill development and readiness at the young ages. So one of the things that is really exciting is that our kindergarten classrooms this year, both because of a legislative impact and because we believe that play is the work of the child, is that our kindergarten classrooms need to dedicate time within the day for play-based learning in pre-K and K. And the legislation also states that we may allocate time in grades 1 through 5. So this is not free play. What we do is we propose a topic to students, and the students engage in what's called play planning. So they think about, what would we need to open a pizza shop? What is our product? What roles would we play? What are the different toppings on our pizza? Who might take money from our customers? Who will be our customers? So the kindergarten classes this year, as you can see, piloted a pizza shop, and they also piloted a vet clinic, but that was more recent, so there's not a ton of pictures available from that one yet. These units develop a background knowledge, vocabulary, and really all of those executive functioning skills. The teacher acts as a guide on the side and is really supporting students in their cooperative work and asking those important planning questions. Additionally, all of the classrooms at Kelly Lane School, when students enter in the morning, Principal Baba and her staff implemented a couple of years ago, right? What's called a soft start in the mornings. So students come in and they engage in hands-on activities such as pattern block building or reading books, coloring. So activities that allow them to get started in the morning in a nice way for more of that independent play, whereas this is the collaborative play. Additionally, and this crosses over with Kate's Office of Pupil Services, there was a grant available for the last 2 years, and we will be reapplying for it, that provided what's called a child play associate. And so
This sounds like the best job ever.
It's a grant-based opportunity, and the grant provides us funding. So it's a competitive grant application. It's not available to all. You have to apply and be awarded. It funds a part-time staff position that works under the supervision of our social worker and supports students in developing play-based skills based on teacher recommendations. So if a teacher is noticing that a student may be having a difficult time, maybe expressing themselves when talking to a peer, there might be a recommendation to go into a cycle of support, and that play-based associate is working with 15 students at a time, and the grant says it has to be in a one-to-one opportunity. So we hope to get that opportunity again.
Can I ask, does that mean one-to-one, one child with the play
With the
specialist?
adults, yes. So a lot of modeling on the adult side, those appropriate play-based skills. And not to go through a whole presentation without talking about reading and writing, the right to read legislation requires all school districts across the state to select from a list of pre-approved reading programs, as we've talked about. And this year, all of our K-2 classes decided, following the pilot we did in the fall, to fully roll into utilizing the resource that the board approved, which is the Harcourt Houghton Mifflin's Into Reading series. And that will be across the district next year in grades K through 4. There's a lot of professional development that's being provided, and the exciting part is both the teachers and the data support the implementation of this new curriculum. So we saw some really nice gains in early literacy skills.
So inclusive of early childhood learning, we provide specialized programming at Kelly Lane Pre-K 2. And I've been here earlier in the school year to talk to you a little bit about the RISE program. RISE stands for Reaching Independence Through Support and Education. And this was a program that we piloted this year we developed to support students who have autism, developmental disabilities, and cognitive disabilities. It's a small group, highly structured, highly staffed, student to staff ratio, and they're working on functional communication, early academics, those pre-learning skills, behavior regulation, and also some daily living skills. We have a pre-K to 5 special education department chair that also helps facilitate all of the coordination coming in from birth to 3 into our early childhood programming for pre-K and kindergarten. That's really a coordinated effort, working with a variety of birth to 3 agencies in the state, they're providing those services in the home, and then we're transitioning them to the public school setting. There's multiple meetings that have to happen to transition that family in and that student. As part of the early childhood learning, we are mandated also by the state of Connecticut federally to monitor early childhood outcomes. One of the ways we do that, we refer to that data point as ECHO. ECHO is an early childhood outcome that we monitor where all students who enter and exit through pre-K, if they have an IEP, are administered an assessment. It's right now the state, we are told we do the Brigance, and that looks at different domain areas and skills, and then we enter that information into the State Department of Ed website. So there is a lot of data collection and monitoring around early childhood outcomes. Also part of early childhood programming is we have an obligation around Child Find, and it's our obligation, we refer to it as Child Find. Child Find is about our district's obligation, or an LEA's obligation, to find students who have a disability in our community. So they could be at home, they could be in a daycare setting, they could be coming into the school. It is our obligation to make sure that if we suspect a disability, we are having, PPTs and discussing testing if needed. And so we do that. We do the child find, we do screenings as part of the early childhood programming as they enter and come into pre-K, which is screenings are really important because we talk a lot about early childhood intervention. Intervention is more effective when it's provided earlier in life, and we know that early intervention services can also reduce the need for highly specialized services later in life. So that's why it's really important that we have an integrated program, like everyone talked about, that we have peer models, and that we're intervening early. It really benefits the community in the end. And as part of the program in RISE, we also provide higher levels of adult support for that early intervention.
That's the end of our presentation and updates for you. Does anyone have any questions for the team?
I mean, you guys have done a truly amazing work in getting this going. We're very, very appreciative of it and very excited at all the new opportunities that our students and our community has here. So thank you for all that you're doing. You guys, this whole year has been just so productive on a variety of levels for things like this. It might be deviating a little bit, but I wanted to hear, I know when we spoke about the new reading curriculum, we heard all about it in curriculum subcommittee. And I was just curious as to Principal Bava's opinion about the new reading curriculum. How do you feel about it? Do you feel good about it too?
Yeah, I'm very excited about it, and I've had a lot of end-of-year meetings with teachers, and it's been the most positive feedback that I've received from teachers in a long time.
That's good.
Regarding ELA curriculum, they've seen a lot of growth and engagement in students. We've seen the data. I mean, it's early, but we've seen a lot of increase in just sub skills that they are already getting, those when you make, those early learning skills. So we're definitely really excited to do a full launch next year.
Excellent. That's really great to hear. I'm excited to see it in action. Does anybody have any questions?
Mine is more of a comment that I know of at least one neighboring district that has cut their integrated preschool because of budgetary concerns. So I'm really excited that our town is actually increasing our programming for preschool. I think it's really important, especially considering all of the issues we've heard about earlier with mental health, that giving kids those opportunities for play and learning and structure is so essential. So thank you so much for that work. I think early childhood doesn't get enough credit, and I'm glad that our district is really committed to supporting it, and for all of you for being the boots on the ground.
Look at the big smile on Principal Bava's
We've done a
face.
lot of work this year, and I'm really proud of it. So it's just nice to be able to share it with you guys, and working with a great team to really support the initiatives. Like Kate said, we have the RISE program this year, the integrated preschool, going to full day, the play, legislative. I mean, it's just amazing what the teachers have done, the TAs have done, and the support from the board, and being able to do it with really no additional funding at all for most of that. So we're really excited.
You've also spent a good amount of time partnering with our high-quality preschool programs right here in Granby. I mean, we really need to mention that we have amazing both home and center-based resources in our community. And so the intention is that we work closely with our community preschools and, parents who have children of this age know how hard it is to find high-quality care. And we know that those preventative measures and getting children in structured, high-quality programs early is really a smart thing for all of us, because there can be a lot of prevention with early intervention and skills. So we're trying to be very future forward in our thinking, not short-sighted in cutting programs that perhaps we will see the repercussions.
Yes, later on.
Ramifications later. Yeah.
Do we have any outreach to parents who have like 2-year-olds, 3-year-olds? Like, I don't know. I've always just thought, and we know how important this age is, right?
Yeah.
So kindergarten readiness is a real thing, and I don't know. I almost feel like I wish there was a way we could contact new moms and be like, okay, hold your baby as much as you can and read to them every day.
Yes.
Like that kind of stuff. But so many people,
true.
right? So many people don't have that information. Like, how do we, I don't know.
Continue to grow that. I know that, like Kate said, we do child find. We reach out to families that we know. We reach out to preschools, and we also, like Sherry was saying, we talk to the preschools and we say, what new families do you have or you know of? And if you do, please pass them to us. We'd love to talk to them about, our programs, local programs, because we can't house everybody, right? And we have great programs that are in our town that also support that. And working collaboratively with them is key, because we do itinerant services. So we go to them also and provide services for students who are not necessarily in our preschool program, but do require some special education services. So that is important. So yes, we try to get the word out by mouth, but I would love to have a more streamlined or baby basket welcome kind of thing, right? So, yeah.
It just seems like such important information. And
That might be our next thing next year. Stay tuned.
All right.
You started something there.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you
guys.
very
Thank
much. We appreciate it. Next up, real quickly in regard to the Board of Education Summer Retreat and the 2025-2026 meeting schedule, which is in your packet. If you want to take a look at the dates. Just to point out that for the meeting schedule, there's no meeting on October 1st, 2025 for Yom Kippur, and then April 15th, 2026 for April recess. So the schedule's attached in the back. In regards to the summer retreat, as is common with us every year, we have difficulty finding dates that work for everyone. And a new poll was sent out by Linda Powell today, this evening. So please respond to it when you get a chance, and we'll see if we can find other dates that might work for everybody. So I appreciate you guys all doing that and putting in the time. We're planning a fairly I'm using the word robust, and I'll hate myself later for that, but corporate buzzword. We're planning a robust agenda for our
engaging.
Okay,
Rigorous.
I like that better. Rigorous and engaging agenda, because I think we have some opportunities, and we want to open it up for discussion and give everybody an opportunity to share their ideas and thoughts. So I look forward to that. If anybody has any questions, let me or Superintendent Burke know. Business requiring action, Director of Finance and Operations report, Ms. Nikki Stevenson.
All right. Attached is the May 2025 budget expense report for this fiscal year, encompassing transactions through June 2nd. Personnel and program accounts continue to be within the appropriated budget. We fully anticipate to have a considerable amount of remaining funds at year end, primarily due to savings in special education. As final FY25 expenses are paid and purchase orders are closed, we will continue to assess the various budgets across all departments and schools, allowing for in-depth reviews of specific line item balances. During this time, various line item transfers will need to occur amongst all categories in order to alleviate any negative balances, as well as remove any remaining unneeded funds to unallocated. As previously reported, in collaboration with the Town Board of Finance and the Board of Selectmen, it was suggested that up to $650,000 of remaining Board of Ed general fund monies be designated for the completion of Board of Ed small capital projects, which include the central office roof, the high school main gym bleachers, and the safety and security initiative in subsequent years. And I'm happy to report all the boards have approved. Once FY25 has been officially closed over the summer months, final amounts will be reported to the Board of Ed in September. This will include an update on the amounts appropriated for small capital projects, any additional remaining monies to be returned to the town general fund, as well as a recommendation for a deposit into the Board of Ed non-lapsing education fund. With regards to quality and diversity fund, it continues to remain consistent and positive. The fund is expected to end the year with a balance of approximately $205,000. The total reimbursement revenue to the town for FY25 is anticipated to be $2,339,229, which is $153,922 less than originally budgeted. And although we have not received all of the funds, we do expect to receive all the monies by June 30th. Does anybody have any questions?
Does anyone have any questions? No? Okay. Do I have a motion?
Well, first I'd like to add that we reviewed it in the Finance Committee and approved the report. And because of that, I would like to move that the Granby Board of Education approve the May 2025 budget expense report.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Thank you. The motion carries.
Oh, Mike.
All right.
I'm sorry, I was telling my administrators, please head home. We have many late nights
Oh, the
this
check.
week and next week. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Take care.
Thank you for supporting Safe Grad. All right. Next up, in regard to the minutes from the May 21st meeting, do I have a motion?
I move that the Granby Board of Education approve the minutes from the May 21st, 2025 Board of Education meeting.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Hey, just one quick thing. Just one thing needs to be changed. It says I was present via Zoom. I was here in person for that one. So just the only change that I had.
Oh, sorry.
Because I think I was supposed to be by Zoom. And I
Oh,
made
yeah,
it.
that's right.
So
But you made
that's
it,
probably
yeah. But
why
you
it
made it
stayed.
here, yeah.
Yep, I made it here. So that's the only change that I have.
Okay. So with those modifications made to the minutes, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, thank you, with the correction to the minutes. Thank you. Next up, we have the second reading and approval of revised policy 5131.911, school climate. This is the second reading. This has been up before in front of the Curriculum Policy Technology Communication Subcommittee. Do I have a motion?
I move that the Granby Board of Education adopt policy 5131.911, school climate, as recommended by the Curriculum Policy Technology Communications Subcommittee.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you. Next up, we have the second reading and approval of revised policy 5112, ages of attendance, admissions, placement. Do I have a motion?
I move that the Granby Board of Education adopt revised policy 5112, ages of attendance, admissions, placement, as recommended by the Curriculum Policy Technology Communications Subcommittee.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Thank you, the motion carries. Next up, the approval of the food services contract, which I know that Nikki Stevenson has been working so hard on. Did you want to discuss this? You're going to call for the motion?
Go ahead.
Okay.
Yep. I'll kind of give a brief overview.
Sure.
So we recently completed the federally required competitive bid process to select a food service management company under the USDA Child Nutrition Programs, which is developed and overseen by the Connecticut State Department of Education. The process is mandated every 5 years and must meet strict federal and state procurement rules. The process was supported by Noto Nutrition Consulting to ensure full compliance and thoroughness. Criteria included the detailed scope of services, meal pattern nutrition standards, evaluation rubrics provided by the Connecticut State Department of Education, and a lot more. Proposals were evaluated by a 3-member committee using standardized scoring methods. The committee has selected Chartwell's as the winning food service management company. Chartwell's outscored competitors in key areas that included price and cost efficiency, financial stability, profit and loss management, and proposed financial guarantee. All documentation has been submitted to the Connecticut State Department of Education for final approval. They must approve this final contract. We are still waiting for that approval. Upon approval from both the state and the Board of Education, we will execute the contract. So tonight, we are asking the board to approve the selected food service management company as a way to be proactive. So work with Chartwell's can begin immediately to ensure a smooth transition of food service operations. The rigorous selection process ensures program integrity and value for the district, and this award reflects Granby's commitment to cost-effective, high-quality, and compliant nutrition services for students.
Thank you. Anyone have any questions?
Well, just to comment on that, we reviewed this in the Finance Committee this evening, and we also discussed the fact that Chartwell's has been providing food services for, I think it was something like 27 districts in the state of Connecticut. So it's a large reputable company, and the Finance Committee approved the agreement to move forward.
I have a question. I know we've had some commentary in the community and in our meetings about the healthfulness of our school lunches, about allergy options, about local produce, things like that. Were those factors also taken into account?
Yes. There were a variety of standards that we were looking for and that they have to meet. One of those is nutrition standards. It's the variety, it's the marketing, it's the, providing students with choices, whether that's vegetarian choices, whatever that may be, providing parents the ability to see what is on the menu that day and kind of do a deeper dive of what is in the food that's being served. Also, getting students engaged, getting them engaged in school lunch. So there's a lot of different programs that Chartwell's will institute in order to do that. So I'm really excited. I think this is going to be a great move for Granby.
Yeah, I think she mentioned
Yeah.
actually that they be a chef for a day, and they get to work with the food service provider. Students can to really get more involved and hands-on in the process.
Right, and they cater the different programs depending upon the age of the student. So they have different programs at the elementary level than they would at the middle school or high school levels.
Yeah,
Nikki,
Liz, I brought that up too at the, no, go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, that's it. I was just going to say that I brought the same thing up because all the conversations that we've had on here and outside of here and everything else.
Nikki, does Chartwell's offer any kind of connection with the local farms?
Yes, that was also another key aspect of the bidding process, and it's also one that's also pushed by the state. But we also already do that. We actually receive grants from the state in order to participate in local foods. And so we are already currently working with local farmers, and Chartwell's is very well experienced in doing that. So not only will they kind of take over what we've already, done, but they will also reach out and try and get new avenues.
Thank you.
Is there any discussion about moving away from processed food and just making the food better and more nutritious?
Yeah, there's always that option. And I think having a company that does have the resources, such as a company like Chartwell's, the ability for them to do something like that is much more expansive. So I think we are going to see a different variety in foods, scratch cooking, things done on the grills, not just always stuck in a package and, for grab and go. We always make those options available, but I think we're going to see a lot more variety.
And Nikki, in our committee, you shared that the potentially, because everything is not finalized yet,
right?
This particular company is looking at a director of food service that is a chef.
Correct.
Would bring that
culinary
level of expectation and expertise, whereas our current provider doesn't have that same level of depth of knowledge and expertise through the company. We're the only school district in Connecticut currently using the company that we have. So that gives you a little bit of a sense of the difference in resources and sort of depth of offerings. And so I think we've had a great experience with our current provider, but there's some opportunity to really see more depth and breadth to what we can offer.
Right. We look at a food service director that has both operational and culinary experience, and I think with the candidate that they are proposing, they have both.
Yeah, I think California just moved the entire state to non-processed foods for all their students in recognition of the important role of nutrition to student achievement and student focus and all of those things. And there's a connection between our math scores and what we're eating for lunch. And it's another lever that we can exercise or take advantage of.
Correct. And as of now, even with state mandates and state guidelines, there are very strict rules on, for instance, how many calories can be in a meal, what the portion sizes are. So they are under those constraints as well. But they are well experienced in working within those guidelines.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do I have a motion?
I move that the Granby Board of Education approve the food services contract with Chartwell's for the 2025-2026 school year with the option of 4 additional one-year renewals, July 1st through July 30th.
Second.
I'm going to modify that to June 30th.
And so I think you said July 30th.
I'm sorry, to June 30th.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
I'll second again.
Okay. Any further discussion?
Everybody's tired.
Everybody's getting a little tired. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you. Committee reports, board standing committee reports. Curriculum, policy, technology, communication did not meet tonight. Like I said, we're going to have a pretty robust agenda for our retreat, and I think we'll be talking about some of those issues there, and then they will start up again next year. Finance, personnel, and facilities did meet tonight. Donna?
Yes, so we met, we reviewed and approved the May statement of accounts. We also discussed the new food services contract. We discussed the capital projects that are ongoing and the fact that an additional 30 borings will be taken at the track once school's out to again continue to evaluate what is going on there and what needs to be done. And that Chris DeGray, our Director of Facilities, met with Mike Warco from the Board of Finance to discuss capital projects with regard to the Board of Education and our properties. Sherry advised us that she's interviewing for some positions. We've had a couple of resignations, but confident that we are going to be able to find and hire strong candidates. And that's what we discussed this evening.
Thank you, Donna. Does anyone have any questions for Donna?
Does anybody know, is that building committee ever going to meet?
The CPAC?
Capital CPAC.
I know.
Sherry,
So,
you take that.
The early meeting in June, the cancellation was sent out. I am being told that the second meeting in June, which is June 23rd, will meet. Unfortunately, I'm not able to attend that meeting, but I do believe Chris DeGray can be there in my absence if in fact it meets. It's a town-run committee, so we just wait for the notification. But we are hopeful because we have a robust list of projects, that is for sure. Yeah.
We do. All right, thank you very much. And again, thank you, Nikki, for your hard work in regard to the food services contract and the finance report. Other board-related reports, Crack Cave, nothing new going on there for me, if anyone else has anything there. Granby Education Foundation?
Haven't met since our last meeting.
Okay. A calendar of events is attached at the back of the packet. Everybody take a look. Obviously, we have graduation coming up next week, so it's a big day. Board member announcements. Real quick, I'm going to take this opportunity to thank everyone here for your hard work during this entire school year. We put in a lot of hours, a lot of time, and it's not just here sitting here. It's on the phone, it's texting, it's keeping up on everything that's going up with the schools, the communications that we share with Sherry, or Superintendent Burke, and Assistant Superintendent Parsons, and Nikki, as well as attending other board meetings. So I just want to thank all of you. We everybody up here works. Everybody up here has a job, and we take care of our families, and we support our families, and we do this as well. So you are all appreciated.
Monica, probably no one puts in more hours on this board than you do, so right back at you. I mean, I can't tell you how much I appreciate as a board member how much effort you put into making sure that we are all up to speed and you keep that communication steady, at the expense of your free time and time with your family and your work. So thank you.
Thank you. No, I appreciate that, but we have a great team up here, and I want to thank Superintendent Burke for her steadfast dedication to this district and the amazing positive improvements that have been occurring over this year. We're getting great. You said we were on the edge of greatness, and we are getting great. So that's my board member announcement. So I just want to say thank you to all of you. Does anybody else have any other announcements? Okay. And you know what? I should thank you, Assistant Superintendent Parsons. You do a ton. I just want to say thank you as well. Okay. Superintendent's report.
Thank you. I'll be brief, given the hour, but I do have a couple exciting things to share. We have a new teacher of the year. Sarah Warner, our music teacher at Wells Road Intermediate School, was recently selected as the 2025-6, so this coming school year, Teacher of the Year. We did things a little differently this year. We went on what I call just a prize patrol. And so we had the opportunity to surprise Sarah with some family members and our current Educator of the Year, Kristen LaFlamme. She will formally be introduced to the board in the fall. And at commencement at the start of the coming academic year, she will address her peers. But I did want to share with you that we have made our selection. Likewise, Heather and Monica joined myself and Jen Parsons and each of the respective building administrators and teams out to surprise and honor and celebrate our retirees and our 25-year employees for their recognition. I had a lot of fun doing it, and we did get some positive feedback. It was a little bit of a change from our traditional luncheon, but given that it was a very small number of individuals this year, we thought we would make it more personalized, so that was a lot of fun. Thank you for joining. I had one of the best days so far this year when I had a superintendent for the day with me. Miss Lucy Lawton, third grader at Wells Road School, was the superintendent for the day recently. We even received phone call inquiries like, how could I become the superintendent of the day at the completion of my second time doing that? And it was a raffle, a fundraiser for the GEF at the Granby. So we've been told we have to do a better job at advertising that is an opportunity at the Granby. We had a great time. And I have to give a big shout out and a thanks to all of my Granby partners, Brian listed the YMCA, Mike Walsh, town manager, Chief Sansom. We were out and about doing the things that I do, visiting our local community leadership, and Lucy was fantastic, and she had a really good time. She did give her class a full week of no homework.
I was going to say, did she make any big proclamation?
That was her big proclamation. We weighed the pros and cons of that. She said, well, it's mostly reading. And all of my friends really like to read, so I bet they'll still keep reading. And it's near the end of the year, so I don't think Miss Lecco would mind. And so she made a superintendent decision of 1 week of no homework for her peers. Now, she was asked for salary increases. She was asked for more snow days. She was asked for extra recess. She was asked for all kinds of things. I think she made a very responsible decision about what she granted at the end of her day. She was fantastic. And it's highly likely she'll be sitting in a seat like this relatively soon. We do have moving up ceremonies in all of our schools. We have second grade on Friday. On June 6th, we have grade 5th and 8th. And I'm proud of this because in previous years, we heard from parents that they wanted to really be in and welcome and in person. And so all of our transition grades now have parents invited in school to be a part of these milestone moments, and I think that's really kind of great. And we've had a really wonderful response from parents. And then, of course, as we've said, we're all looking forward to graduation on June 10th. So I too just want to share in my gratitude for the board. I've shared an executive session, but I think it's important to say publicly for the community to hear many of my colleagues, many superintendents across the state. I forget the number now, but it's 30 almost, 28 superintendents have resigned or retired this year alone in the state of Connecticut because it's a hard job. It's a hard job if you don't feel connected and supported by your leadership and your community. And so I'm really grateful. We have hard conversations, we're going to disagree, but we keep that dialogue going and we invite those, uncomfortable conversations at times so that we feel confident in the decisions that we're making for our students. And so there's always more work to do. When we're great, we'll want to be excellent. When we're excellent, we'll want to be,
superb.
Califragilistic, yeah. So we always will have work to do. Now I can't spell it.
Okay.
I have a concussion. We'll always have more work to do. But, this is a really special place. And I've had the opportunity to hire early career and new teachers over the last few days. And I tell them what a great place they're coming to be nurtured and grow. And I truly believe that. I couldn't come to work every day if I didn't believe that that were true. So it feels fitting to share on our last meeting that this is a special place, and I'm proud to be a part of the leadership team. I also just want to tell Linda how grateful I am for her 2 years of service. She has shown me the ropes, and she's a tremendous part of our district's success.
She shows us all the ropes.
Thank you, Linda. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We do have a need for executive session tonight, because this is fun, and we're just going to keep it going. So we will be moving into executive session. Before we do that, I want to say again to Linda Powell, thank you for your dedication, for your forward thinking. You're a taskmaster extraordinaire, and
For feeding us countless times.
right. But also just making sure everything was in order. I mean, I walk in, you're like, sign this, look at this, this is for you, you need to do this, signature here, and then I say, what pen do I use? She hands me a pen, it's all just, we get it done, and thank you. It's truly meaningful to have someone like you that can be relied upon so wholly and completely. It's rare, and you are noticed, and you are appreciated and valued, and we're so happy for you.
Enjoy your retirement.
Enjoy your retirement. Yes. Do I have a motion in regard to executive session?
I move that the Granby Board of Education enter into an executive session to discuss student discipline matters.
Second.
Second.
Oh, second?
Second.
Sorry, I'm getting tired. All in favor? All in favor? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I'm ready.
Any abstentions? All right, motion carries. We're moving into executive session. Thank you. And have a good summer.